Last winter we spent quite a lot of time testing parawings to develop the frigate, and it got us thinking about this new sport and how to make it more accessible and enjoyable. When you're parawinging, the first challenge it comes even before you stand up on the board to take off. Being harder than the wing to depower completely, with the parawing you kind of have to go up on your board with one hand and then stand while holding the bar, and then the parawing is pulling you, so that's pretty hard. And then once on the board, the parawing is not as efficient at pumping compared to a wing, so it's harder to create speed and apparent wind. You could start with a bigger size, but then you'll be overpowered when flying. So yeah, because of all these things, we saw quite a lot of people trying to parawing last winter and last spring and ending up swimming for a few sessions. So as a brand, we don't like to see such things. We want to make these sports as accessible as possible. So that's when we came up with the idea of making a parawing dedicated board shape that will offer the best possible stability while offering an easy takeoff, and that's the free downwind. In terms of shape, we have a longer and narrower shape to help glide through the water and create speed, kind of like sub-downwind shapes. You can see a kick on the tail to help release the water and help with the pumping motion. We have implemented higher volume in this board, as you can see in the specs, and we have a lot of features that help with stability. You see very square, high volume rails and very parallel outline, keeping the nose and tail quite wide to really increase stability and use the whole length of the board to increase stability. Volume-wise, the distribution is more balanced toward the nose, and that's a big difference with other board models that are made for winging, like the Midlands, for example. Why? Because when taking off with the wing tends to pull you upwards, while the parawing will sit a bit more down on the wind window and it will tend to pull you more forward. And when doing this, you will put more pressure, you will apply more pressure on your front foot. And the nose of the board, if you don't have the right volume there, will tend to dive. So this is why the volume distribution on the Midlands is a bit more toward the center and the back, while on the free downwind it is more frontward. To give you an example, I'm 70-75 kilos. I'm riding mostly the 6.4x19 on the free downwind, and I'm riding it when the wind is under 18 knots or 15 knots, and I really need to take off easily. And whenever the wind is stronger, I'd go for the free surf 511. Now let's talk about the free surf. The story behind it is a bit different. And I mean, I've been sub-downwinding and doing deflators for the last few years, and when we started to test parawing last winter, what I enjoyed most was to be able to lap the best part of the run and focusing on carving as much as possible. Here we have like an 18 kilometers run, and on the run you will focus on first go through the flatter section and then manage to go offshore to catch the right angle, and then I was focusing more on going down the line straight and trying to go fast rather than carving. And whenever I was testing parawings, I was just, lapping pretty much the best section of the run, the last 2-3 kilometers. And really, I could find myself focusing on just, carving the bumps and basically surfing. And I think the ability when doing parawing to go upwind and downwind in a very short time, plus when riding downwind, you have nothing in your hands, that really helps to focus on carving and ocean surfing, and that's the main difference with winging too. So I feel like the parawing will have a lot of people focusing more on surfing and less on speeding. And so this is why that pushed us to build a dedicated board for downwind carving, and this is a free surf. In terms of shape, I would say it's the free downwind cousin, as it features a longer and narrower shape to help gliding through the water and creating speed, but pretty much everything else is different. It features a reduced thickness to position your feet closer to the foil, and that really helps to enhance control, maneuverability, and a more direct feeling with the foil. The nose and tails are really pinched, and that really helps increase maneuverability and basically make the board nimbler. Another important thing is that the riding position is different than the free downwind. The riding position is more forward, so you have less length at the front, more at the back. And that really increases the responsiveness and playability of that shape. The back and front foot pressure is also not the same, is not balanced the same. On the free surf, you will have more back foot pressure or more like balanced feet pressure, when on the free downwind, you will have more front foot pressure. So for the free surf, having a more balance, even slightly more back foot pressure really helps with providing a surf-like feeling in the water. You can see an aggressive kick on the tail that helps with taking off, but also make sure you don't touch the water when carving hard and having great angles and pumping close to the surface. The shape of the free surf is directly inherited from the prone range, and the free surf range will actually replace the prone range. So this is why you have really small sizes up to bigger volumes. To compare the free downwind and free surf in terms of shape, I would say the free surf is made to be as performant as possible in the air, where we really emphasized on maneuverability and control, while the free downwind is made to be as stable and fast as possible in the water. So we're more emphasized on high stability and easier takeoffs. In terms of construction, bamboo and carbon, same as the free downwind. The carbon saves some weight, but the most important thing is that the board will be more reactive and stiffer. Again, in terms of sizes, I'm mostly using the Free Surf 511 as my one board quiver. I can parawing, hay-wing, wing, but I can also prone it. So when the wind dies, for example, and we still have some small bumps or swells, I just ditch the parawing in the car, and then I can go proning with exactly the same board and setup as when I'm parawinging or winging. As I said earlier, when the wind is below 18 knots, I'd rather go for the free downwind 6-4 because I know this board will help me take off even in the lightest wind. These are longer boards, so for sure if you want something more compact, you will have other choices in the range. But as we said, the takeoff is a challenging part in parawinging, and we really believe that having a longer and narrower shape really helps. So yeah, hope you can try this out at your next F1 demo or in your local F1 shop, and give us your feedback, and hope you enjoy it.